very first podcast. I'm Carrie.
I'm Darlene.
And this is the Knitter's Gotta Knit podcast.
We knit one stitch at a time.
That's right. So a lot of you might already know Darlene. She's also known as Awesome Granny with Bags by Awesome Granny. And I'm her best friend Carrie. And on Ravelry, I'm a Knitfomaniac. On Twitter, I'm a Knitfomaniac. And on Instagram, I'm just Knitfomaniac.
And I'm on Ravelry, Awesome Granny, and on Instagram, Bags by Awesome Granny, and I don't do Twitter and any of that other stuff. I barely can do Instagram.
So we're going to start a Ravelry group. It's going to be a Knitter's Gotta Knit podcast, and our little motto is going to be one stitch at a time. So this is stitch number 1.
Stitch number 1.
Uh-huh. And we are a little bit nervous, so do bear with us. Hopefully we get better as we go along. But we're just going to jump right into it and start off with whips. So I'll start with my first whip. This is the Brioche Chevron Cowl by Stephen West. I've had this on the needles for a really long time. I'm using an Andre Sue Knits sock blank. That's upside down. Sock blank with lips. And then Biscotti Biz Sock Black. I think it's called Charbon or something like that yarn. And I think this is the wrong side with the black. And this is the right side. That's how the lips kind of knit up.
So pretty.
With the different stuff.
And so complicated.
And you basically just start with like an I-cord type of cast on. And then once I finish all the way around, they'll like graft together into a long cowl. I think I have a picture here. Long cowl thing here.
So pretty.
Thank you.
And I am working on, I lost my project. I'm working on a Find Your Faye shawl out of hedgehog yarn that Carrie got me for my birthday. And it's kind of stressful to me trying to figure out what color to put next. That's the hardest part of this for me. But this is, I'm not sure the names.
Rusty Now.
And then Genie, I think. And then I know that this one, this white one here is Heyday. And I'm not sure what the name of this pink is.
I think it's Pinky Swear.
Pinky Swear. But I just think it's just going to be beautiful when it's done.
It is going to be beautiful. It's absolutely
so
gorgeous.
We do a thing every year called the Big Four to try to get projects that we've started through the year. We pick 4 and we try to get them finished. And this is my second Big Four project. So, and I didn't bring my first one. I should have brought it.
My Brioche Chevron cowl is my 3rd project. And I have my 2nd project in my finished objects that I'll show you in a little bit. But I'm going to show another whip. The only another whip that I have. So, I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with Miss Bab's knitting tour. I'm a member of the knitting tour. And this was the 2nd destination. It's basically a virtual tour, and you sign up. I think sign-ups are around December or something like that. You sign up, and you get a destination package every 3 months. And, you know, the Miss Babs staff does a fabulous job of putting everything together, and it's a surprise. They have like a little, we went to Peru with this destination. They have like a little book that they put together with different things, and then this is the finished item, and this is our designer, Casapinka. And they put like little stitch markers in there. There's a cute little Peruvian mask stitch marker, and different stuff.
Oh, how cute.
Isn't that cute?
Yes.
I think it's cute.
That's adorable.
Usually, you know, you can buy extras. Sometimes if they have extras, you know, to put up for sale or whatever. And every once in a while, they'll give you a choice of your color. And this time, with this tour destination package, you did have a choice. And your choice was pink or not pink. I chose the pink. And this is what it looks like. It's pink and blue. It starts down here. It's a little mosaic pattern by Casapinka. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm almost done. But the non-pink option was orange. And my favorite color is orange. I know that's crazy. Not a lot of people have a favorite color of orange, but that's what it is. So I had a friend that's also a member of this club, and what she did was she got the orange and she didn't like it. So I ended up buying it from her.
Is that the same blue?
It is not. It is a touch different, but it's this one's considered teal and this one's considered blue. I know it doesn't look like there's much of a difference, but there is a difference. So, a little bit of technical difficulties, how to get up for a minute, but the blue is a touch, it's just barely a touch different.
Yeah, with it sitting over there, I thought it was the same one.
I thought it was the same when I saw other people's put their projects up or whatever, but it is a little bit different, and it has a different name color. So anyway, that's about where I was last week, and I'm kind of hoping to finish this weekend so I can mark it off my whip list.
That's cool. Well, I brought a whip that I've had on the needles for a long time, and I thought that if I showed it on the podcast, it would make me work on it.
All right.
So that I could show
accountability.
Yeah. So this is a sweater, the Darren sweater, for my nephew Shannon, and I've made this once before for my husband.
I'm going to insert a picture here of the one that she made for her husband because it's just gorgeous.
So this is the Darren sweater. I think this may have been a free pattern, but I did this several years ago, so I'm not sure if it is a free pattern or not. But I promised my nephew this sweater 2 years ago, and I told him last year I would have it done by November of this year, so I have got to get on it. But I have a sleeve done, and I've had just a little bit of second guessing my yarn because I'm using Line Brand fisherman's wool, which I think it's beautiful. I think the stitch definition on it is beautiful, but it's not the softest, so I've kind of wanted to just forget it and start over with a better yarn. But Carrie told me I couldn't do that because I've already got a sleeve and a cuff done. So, and I think he'll like it.
I think he will too.
It's not like he's going to wear it next to his skin. He'll wear it over, a long sleeve shirt in the winter. So I'm just going to continue on and try to get it finished for him. I feel guilty every time I see him, and I see him about twice a week. That I just need to get it finished. So I will show this probably every week to try, and that will make me
there you go, accountability.
work on it. So that's that.
I have one last whip which will probably get frogged. They're socks. Every month I do a pair of socks, and I usually do the DVD monthly, this is the 3rd annual monthly socks or whatever. And I started 2 cuffs. And this self-striping yarn is called Prince of Thieves. It's kind of hard to see all this stuff everywhere. But it's a beautiful striping pattern.
It's so pretty.
Thank you. It's a beautiful striping pattern, and I'm really enjoying it so far, but I've only got 2 little cuffs. However, every year I also try and participate in Tortoise Sock. Now, Tortoise Sock usually goes on when Tour de France goes on, but one of the moderators was on vacation during that time. So Tortoise Sock officially starts this Saturday, I think, whatever the 15th is. And the first sock is sock number 6. And it says that it has a recommendation of course, solids, variegated tonals, whatever, but it also has a recommendation of self-striping. And that doesn't happen very often in Tortoise Sock. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to rip these out, and then Tortoise Sock will start this weekend, and I'll use this yarn so I can kind of double dip. It'll also be my DVD yarn of the month thing, and it'll be my Tortoise sock. I don't finish every sock at Tortoise Sock. The first year I finished 1 sock. I think the second year I finished 2 socks. Last year I don't think I did any socks. And this is my 4th year. And hopefully I can do more socks this year, but I'm not 100% sure.
So you're going to frog those and do the sock pattern for
Tortoise Sock
with the self-striping.
Mm-hmm. So the way that Tortoise Sock works is the pattern pops up that you register on tortoisesock.com, and then they send you a PayPal. I think it's $9 this year. It used to be $7.50, but you get 6 or 7 free patterns, and they're gorgeous patterns, so it's definitely worth it. And last year I think they donated 72 cents per dollar to Doctors Without Borders. So it's cool. A great cause. There's a lot of people that join just to get the sock patterns and not participate. It is a very competitive participation, I'm on Team Roasted, and we are very relaxed. We don't always finish our socks, and towards the end, not even a lot of us cast on. But
You're
those
not on
people,
that Finland team.
those people in Finland, if you're in Finland and watching this, man, you can knit. I'm telling you, these women, they finish an entire pair of socks. There's like length regulations. It's got to be 9 inches, so many stitches, X number of repeats of a pattern, all this different stuff. And they can finish a pair of socks in like 12 hours. That's 2 socks in 12 hours. I don't even think I can cast on 2 cuffs in 12 hours.
I need to be on their team because I have a pair of socks that I've been working on for a year.
There you go. I'm not sure they'll have you on their team. It is so competitive, but I enjoy it. I'm knitting socks every month anyway, and it helps me to better myself with different stitches, and I learn different things. But you only have 9 days to finish the pair of socks, and it's a struggle for me to finish a pair of socks in 9 days.
I just can't imagine.
Even working on only socks, I just don't knit as fast as everybody else does, but I give it a shot. So.
Okay, so I have one more
Yay!
that you don't know about.
Oh no, I don't know about it.
Because, I told you that I was dying to cast something on.
We both are dying to
so
cast something on.
I did cast on something last night.
Uh-oh.
But I'm not happy with it, so I'm probably going to have to frog it and just put it away and not even restart it till after the big 4. I just couldn't help myself. So I cast on the Happenstance sweater. Is that the name of it?
Uh-huh.
No, it's not. It's the Iba.
Iba
Sweater. The Iba
but the
sweater.
book, no, that's a different one.
Yeah, the Happenstance is...
Romy Hill. It's a book.
Yeah, what is that? Is that a sweater or a shawl?
I think it was a shawl that you saw.
I think. But I just think this sweater, it's just plain, and I think it would be something that you would wear all the time. So I've got out my gorgeous Alberto Rios, and it's in the sandbank color. And I started it, and I'm terrible at doing provisional cast on, and this is what I don't like. I mean, it just looks terrible. Can you see how bad that looks? I mean, I even went back and redid that twice.
Where is this going to be?
It's
on
in the
your
collar,
body?
so it's right. This is the middle of the collar, so it'll be right
So
here.
it'll be way in the back, and everybody in the world will see it way back here. And they'll all point out how terrible this looks. Teasing.
So
I understand that you see it, and I mean, I'm a knitter too, and so when you see errors in your own knitting, you're always like, well, is it terrible? Is it good? Is it going to work? But in the long run, you have to be happy with it.
I just don't know.
But the patterning is beautiful. It looks great.
I even did a gauge swatch, and I did a gauge swatch, and the pattern calls for like size 7 needles. And I'm doing it on a 9. And I debated on whether to do it on a 10, but I went ahead and went with the 9.
I think it looks great.
Well, thank you. But it probably won't get a whole lot of, even if I don't rip it out, it probably won't get a whole lot of love because I've got to get Shannon's sweater done and I've got to get our big 4 done. But I just wanted to cast something new on, and oh my gosh, I love this yarn.
It's awesome.
I want to just knit with it all the time. It's just fabulous yarn. So the only other thing that I have is not cast on, but I'm not committing myself. That's why I brought it, is I like to commit myself. But my daughter-in-law asked me for a pair of fingerless mitts about, when did I give Shyla hers?
About a year and a half ago. No? Or was it last year?
It was this past year.
It was 6 months ago.
So, and Teresa asked me for a pair like immediately, and I haven't done them yet. So, and I see her quite often at my granddaughter's motorcycle races, and I feel guilty every time I see her that I haven't done them yet, so I'm gonna.
And she's knitting at the races. She's knitting on her fade,
Uh-huh.
and so her daughter-in-law's like sitting right there watching her knit, and she hasn't knit on.
I haven't done, And these I can knit these. I've knit so many pairs of these. I can do these in 3 or 4 days. So I just need to like get it done. So I'm gonna use Barocco Vintage. I think it's it's DK, and that's what the pattern calls for. So I'm gonna cast these on. And hopefully get on maybe 1 glove done before the next podcast.
There we go.
Maybe.
That's a good goal. That's a good
goal. That's why I brought these, is because, I want to be accountable. And, Carrie and I, we give each other excuses all the time. So maybe y'all won't give us excuses for being slackers. We give each other excuses for being slackers.
We had a friend that told us that we are each other's own worst enemy.
Yeah,
and she was right. we are each other's own worst enemy because we just enable each other like crazy back and forth, back and forth.
We do.
And we work together, so we knit at work every day. We're not in the same department, but we work at the same company. So we knit at lunch every day, and we talk all weekend, and we're just like, start this. Yeah,
so
start
like
that. Oh, it doesn't matter if you don't finish this.
We're going to not start any new projects. Let's cast something new on.
That's right. Like in the same breath.
Yeah. And that's what we do. So y'all have to help us be accountable.
There you go. You guys got to keep us accountable. So, all right, I'm done with whips. I think you're done with whips. Yep. I'm going to show a couple of finished objects. So this was my second Big Four item, and it's the snow melt cowl. And I tried to do it with the snow melt cowlers that did theirs, but I was a snow melt cowl failure. It was a mystery cowl.
I think it's backwards. Is it backwards?
No, it's the right side. And I was gifted this yarn by a great friend, Ruby, and she gave me the, it's 3 Irish Girls yarn in this burnt orange colorway, and then this white with the orange speckles on it. I think it's called Crush and something else. And then I added the, this is Biscott Biz Sock in a gray type color. I added that to add the third color. And it was meant to be convergent, which was Josh somebody's pattern. And
he's sort of a knitter on Ravelry.
Yeah, sort of a knitter. And does he have a podcast or used to?
He does have a podcast.
He has a podcast. And so Ruby found the yarn at a Stephen B booth, and it was sold like as a little kit, the two colors together. And she got it for me because this is Kerry orange. Perfect burnt orange, Kerry orange. We live in Texas. I'm a Longhorn fan, which is out of the city of Austin. That's a college football team. So that's my orange. So she got this yarn for me, and I knitted this with it instead of the convergent, and I really love the results. I'm not a big lace knitter. I don't always knit lots of things with lace. I'm more of a garter stitch and pure knit kind of gal because I have to pay attention when I knit on lace. And apparently I don't like to think at all. I prefer the non-thinking process. Like my socks that I do every month, they're all vanilla. I just sit and knit. I don't have to pay attention. I can just watch TV and go with it. So for me to finish a big lace project like this is a pretty big deal. So that's my first finished object.
Okay, my first finished object is this hat. Oh, on Carrie's big old heavy glass head. And
my daughter got me that for Mother's Day.
It's this hat pattern isn't really any kind of pattern, actually. So I started it with, thank you. I started it with the pattern, the Jared Flood's Turn Square pattern, and I cast on 94 stitches, and you're only supposed to do an inch of ribbing. Well, I wanted this for vacation because my husband and I ride motorcycles, and we go on a motorcycle vacation every year. And every year we get cold weather somewhere, no matter what time of year we go. So I wanted to have this for vacation. So I thought, well, I want to do it kind of like the sockhead hat, even though this is DK, and I knitted it out of Madeline Tosh DK, which is, oh my gosh, fabulous yarn. But so I wanted to do it more like the sockhead hat. So I did 8 inches, I think, of ribbing.
It looks.
And then about 7 or 8 inches of just regular in the round knitting, and I finished it off like the sockhead hat, not like the Turn a Square hat. And I actually really, really like it. So I'm hoping that I can convince my daughter that this is her new favorite hat because she loves the sockhead hat, and I make her two or three every year.
Every year.
So this will be so much faster if I can get her to, like this kind. So I really like it. I mean, the yarn is wonderful to work with and super fast to knit. So that's my great hat. Thank you.
Okay, our second finished objects are the same, so we're going to show them together. Okay. It's the Ho He Wrap, the mystery knit along wrap. I don't even know where mine is. It starts and ends. Here we go. Here's mine.
Here's mine. And Carrie and I, we're both, I don't think we're tight knitters, but we're not as loose knitters as apparently most everybody else. Because
correct.
when we knit the same shawl on the same size needle as everybody else, our finished project is always a lot smaller. So we knit these on size 8s, and I really, really love it on size 8s.
And it's all fingering yarn. Hers is all Lolo did it, Lolo's favorite cashmere base,
and it's wonderful.
Mine is a couple of different yarns. I've got some Mrs. Babs is in the naked. I've got Hedgehog Film Noir. This is Dream and Color Jilly in the brownie colorway. This is Lolo did it Naked Hippo or Naked Rhino or something. I got this yarn from you.
Yeah, I think it's Angry Rhino.
Angry Rhino.
I think it's Angry Rhino.
And then the pink is a Volmiza sock yarn. So mine's all different ones put together. All fingering weight and still on size 8s. And we can finally get the size what everybody else gets,
and
so.
When I was on vacation, I went and saw for a day, spent the day with, hi Precious, spent the day with the Naughty Knitwits, Michelle and Leslie, and Angelique from Black Sheep Yarn, and Carrie from the Creative Obsession podcast, and their friend Lori. And Leslie was knitting on this also, and she was doing hers on a size 6, and our knitting was very similar. I mean, she was shocked. Leslie was shocked that I was doing.
I think they were all shocked she was on 8s.
On 8s, but I'm really happy with the.
I am
with,
too.
With the way it turned out.
And even with my snow melt one, I started that on 6s and then decided I want this to be as big as everybody else's. And after clue 2, I went to like 7s, and after clue 3, I think I went to 8s to finish it out, just so I could get the same size that everybody else was getting, because we don't think we're tight knitters, but apparently compared to everybody else, we are tight knitters, because whenever we do a gauge, which we don't do very often, if we want to get what everybody else is getting, we usually have to go up 1 to 2 sizes. So.
And the whole time we were knitting this, I told Carrie, it's not going to be big enough. It's not going to be big enough.
She did.
It's not going to be big enough.
This sucker is huge.
And it's huge.
It is huge.
I had to, when I took them home and blocked them in my backyard, and I had to use 2 king-size sheets laying end to end on my yard, and laid them out and blocked them. They're just huge.
I love them.
But they're gorgeous. If it wasn't such a pain to knit, I would knit another one, but it was a pain to knit. No offense, Hohi, but
all those ends to weave in.
Oh,
that was
gosh.
A lot.
Yeah, it was.
There was one lady that did it all in one solid color.
And it was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous.
But that kind of takes away from the
different textures and patterns.
But
and
if I ever did do it again, I would do that moss stitch like you were telling me and take out that awful twisted rib, because that was not fun.
Yeah, twisted rib is not fun. Not fun at all. So, okay, I think we've gone through our whips and our finished items. I did have one other little section that I wanted to do as to what I want to knit, and I'm hoping to be able to start a little bit soon.
You didn't tell me that.
I know. Well, you didn't tell me about your little...
Well, I almost didn't bring it because I didn't want to tell you.
I want to knit an outline.
Okay, I do too, so that's good.
This is by the lady that dyes hedgehog fibers. It's a free pattern, and it's basically just another big wrap, because I like the Hohi wrap so much. It's like a little chevron type wrap, and you can either do it like a striping sequence or, randomly just grab some colors or whatever, use some stash or what have you, or new skeins and whatever. And so that's something that I hope to be able to cast on in the future.
And when are we going to do that?
I don't know. You need me to commit to that now?
No.
Maybe after our big 4.
Yeah.
So, Darlene, for her big 4, she picked some really big projects.
They are big. I get overwhelmed because I think I can do more than I can possibly do.
And for my big 4, I picked 2 big projects. One of them was a fade that I finished in the first month, and then the snow melt, which I finished last month. But my next 2 are kind of small. One's the Cowl, and the other one is a pair of socks. They're like these Converse socks. There's a pattern on Ravelry somewhere. I can't think of what they're called, but it's in my project page. And I promised my aunt those, I think, 2 years ago.
You didn't show your socks you finished.
Oh, I didn't show my socks that I finished. This was, I forgot that because I have so much crap sitting over here. These were my April socks. No, May socks. And this was Desert Vista Dye Works. And this is the Black Forest Cake. And I just loved this colorway.
It's beautiful.
it was just one of my favorite ones to knit, so I put that together, and those were my finished socks from that.
So is the outline the only thing you see in your future that you want to?
I see one other thing in my future.
Okay.
I have a friend that's going to be starting chemo soon, and so I want to do.
You can say that. You can say who it is.
It's Darlene's niece. So Darlene's niece was recently diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. So she hasn't started chemo yet. She hasn't finished all her doctor's visits or anything, but we know it's in the future. So I have some Volmisa Blend, which is the cashmere sport.
So pretty.
And this is just a free knit picks pattern. It's just a
She'll love that.
And it's just, I just thought it was cute. So this is definitely in my future, probably being cast on this weekend, because I'd like to get some of these made.
Yeah, and we don't know.
Her favorite color is red.
It is. And we don't know what they're going to be doing for Cynthia. She still has to have some, I think next week she's having an MRI. She's meeting with a surgeon. She just literally got the diagnosis this past Thursday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thursday. So
today's Saturday.
If y'all want to keep Cynthia in your prayers, it would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
So,
and then Darlene forgot all of her stash enhancements.
I did.
She drove to my house today. So I have some stash enhancements, but hers are going to have to wait until next week. So I don't know how many of you guys have heard of Sock School. It's hosted by
Stacy.
This is Stacy's yarn, but it's hosted by Little Skein. Skein
really?
Hosts it, and I think Amber Lindemann of the Yarn Hoarder podcast has a thread in her little area, and so I think Amber and Anne from Little Skein are kind of doing it together.
Didn't Stacy do it last year?
I think she did. I think she did. So I got the Ralph colorway, which is the little
so cute
mouse on a motorcycle.
I like
one
that.
with the little natural colorway. So I got these. I can't wait to start these. I'm not sure.
Too bad I don't knit socks, because I really like that.
Darlene's tried to knit socks.
Just not a sock knitter.
She just doesn't like it.
So
that's all that I love.
But and I love that Carrie knits a pair of socks every month, because I usually get some of them, and
she does,
and I love that.
She does. And then I told you that I was doing the Tortoise Sock, and there's many sponsors for the Tortoise Sock. Miss Babs, Invictus Yarn, Cannon Hand Dyed, I think Blue Moon Fiber Arts. But another sponsor of Tortoise Sock is Bugbear Woolens, and Jennifer dyes this yarn, and I love this yarn. I have another skein on the way. This one's called Like a Boss. That's the colorway, and I just think her yarn is fabulous. I knit a pair in Tortoise Sock a couple years ago with some of her yarn, and she has some of the greatest orange colors. So, a little bear.
So cute.
Little bear.
Reminds me of the Wuzzles when the kids were little. The Wuzzles.
Yeah. So I got this yarn hopefully to use sometime in Tortoise Sock. I have these grand plans that I'm going to finish like all 6 socks, and I never do. And then I got some Lolo Did It in Lolo's favorite base, and this is the Harley colorway. Darlene had mentioned earlier that her and her husband ride a motorcycle. They ride a motorcycle all around the country for vacation every year. My boyfriend rides a Harley, and I ride on the back. Darlene's really awesome because she actually drives her own motorcycle. I just ride on the back. And I love orange, and so it's the Harley colorway, and it's orange, and so I had to get this one. Even though I am on a pretty serious yarn diet, we have a few exceptions, and of course we break it every once in a while, but you won't see I'm hoping you won't see me do too many stash enhancements.
Now what we have been doing, and we've actually been sticking to it pretty good, and we can show those because it would be new to me and new to you, but like this yarn, I went shopping in Carrie's yarn store, and so we have told each other you're welcome to anything in my yarn stash, and I can.
That's how I got her.
We're trying to shop out of each other's yarn stash.
I got the Angry Rhino for the Hohe wrap, because I didn't want to buy more yarn. I wanted to use what I had in stash and stuff. So we've been doing pretty good with that. I'm like, if you see anything that you want in here, take it. And I can see her stash pretty much on Ravelry. I don't have everything of mine in Ravelry, but I'm pretty close to having everything.
I have pretty much
in Ravelry.
There may be a few exceptions, but I have most of my stuff in.
And my last 2 stash enhancements.
You went down?
Is yarn that Darlene got me when she was on vacation. She went to Twisted Yarns, like she said, with the Naughty Knitwits and Carrie from Creative Obsessions and Angelique Deersweet from Black Sheep Yarns and her friend Lori. And she got me some twine yarn, which this was local, right?
Yes.
This was local to the area, and it's in the tangerine colorway, and I just love this because I love orange. And then she got me some junk yarn.
And I got this one at Starlight Knitting.
This one's at Starlight Knitting. And I think the Naughty Knitwits talked about it recently, how they got some junk yarn, because they usually don't see it in there, and they had some. And I think these two colors are going to be used in my outline.
Oh, really?
I just have to find 3 more. I think I want to use 5 colors in my outline.
I have the yarns that I got, and you're welcome to it, because I got one of these that's kind of green, and one of these that's green and pink that would go great with this one.
I might snag that one. See? Might snag that one. So, anyway. I
was going to bring those, and I forgot them. I forgot all of my stuff, so.
She first stash enhancements. But I think that's all we have with that. Now, we do have some new bags.
And, I was telling Carrie when we first started this that I want to do like a very small segment at the end to show new bags, but I don't want this to become a podcast about my shop. This is a podcast about us knitting and our friendship and stuff, but, I do want to show new bags as I get them, but I'm not going to that's not the focus of our podcast.
And the bags would get shown anyway because I buy almost all of them.
She does. So
I don't know if you see this here in the back, but I'm the biggest bag owner here.
So just to give everybody a little bit of a background about the shop, Carrie taught me how to knit.
I did.
And I just barged in her office one day at work and said, "Hey, I'm Darlene, teach me to knit," and we've been joined at the hip ever since.
Best friends ever since.
And so one year I wanted to do something really special for her birthday because, look, you can't buy her yarn. I mean, she's got everything. So I made her some bags. And she told me, she said, "You should sell those. People would love them." And I thought, nobody will love those. So she started putting them on all of her projects in Ravelry and stuff. And people started asking her about them. And I thought, well, okay, we'll give it a try. So that's when I opened my shop. It's all her fault.
All
her fault.
And I'm the IT department of Bags by Awesome Granny, so I pay for it too.
Yeah, she does. So the first bag I want to show is this really cute bag. Now this one I made especially for Carrie, so the one that's going in the shop won't have an orange zipper or orange lining. I just forgot the bag that will actually be in the shop. I can't decide whether I want to put a pink or red zipper in this. So
red would be cute.
I think red would be really cute. So we'll probably have red polka dotted inside and a red zipper.
Or pink. But you can always request.
You can. If you want orange, you can orange. Let me know that you want orange.
I'm a big orange girl.
So the next one I have is this really cute little dog.
Not even in the shop yet, but it's so cute.
It will be in the shop this weekend. And it has a red polka dotted inside.
We're big dog people too.
We love dogs.
I don't know if you saw my dog a minute ago in Darlene's lap. Her name is Precious. I love this.
Isn't it cute?
It is cute.
I really like that one.
I haven't seen these.
And then the next one is this cute little bear thing. Bear and rabbit and fox. And
look, it matches my mug.
It does. Yeah.
A little bear.
Oh, it does. And a hedgehog. And it will have an orange zipper in it, because it's got little orange animals, and it will have orange polka dotted inside.
That is super cute.
And then the last one for new bag for this week is this fishing bear, which I think is just the cutest thing. He's got his boxers on. He just came out of the tent, hadn't quite got dressed yet, and
he's fishing. He's got a net.
Yeah, and here's a fishing pole, and then got him a lamp, and I just think it's so cute. And a paddle. So you can't tell him he's up the creek without a paddle, because he's got his paddle. And it will have the red zipper with red polka dotted inside.
That's cute.
So, and then we'll have, the normal sizes, the sets, or just the large bag, a medium bag, or just the Notions pouch, whatever people want.
Fabulous bags.
So,
you know what?
I
think that's it. I think we talked really fast because we were pretty nervous because it's, stitch number 1. But we hope to podcast every 2 weeks. We hope you like us. If you don't, feel free to tell us, what about us drives you nuts.
Yeah.
And I guess that's it. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye.
Bye.